This next one here is Jellyfish Armada. Hello, and hopefully welcome back to Damn Weird. I would appreciate if you could please go over and click on the subscribe and hit the notification so you can know next time we have something new coming on. And sorry for the interruption, but back to the show. Now, maybe I should restate what Damn Weird is. It's not always cryptids. It's not always paranormal. It is the weird. Sometimes the definition of weird as in the old mystical means, sometimes in just the strange and outcast. I like this category because it allows me to check out various things. Now, let's begin. Yes, I realize that everyone knows jellyfish exist. But what is weird is the increase in the whole armadas of various types of jellyfish are appearing around the globe. The experts are still researching into the reasons why. To me, it seems to be a direct reaction to the global environmental changes. Now, that is a large category of things, from pollution to global warming, which is also related. It's all a very closely tied system. That's why it's called an ecosystem. A boat was capsized off Chiba in Japan, and its three-man crew was trying to haul in a net containing dozens of huge Nomura jellyfish. 4 years after they reared their slimy heads, and for reasons that remain mysterious, an armada of the gelatinous giants has gathered in the Yellow Sea off China and the Korean Peninsula. It later drifted into the Sea of Japan and brought down the Daisen Shinshamura, one of the largest jellyfish in the world. The Nomura jellyfish can grow up to 6 feet in diameter and weigh as much as 400 pounds. The three men were rescued by another trawler. The local Coast Guard office reported that the weather was clear and the sea was calm at the time of the accident, which is unusual for jellyfish. Jellyfish can actually be torn up by too vicious of weather. Things are pushing around in it. They're a powerful yet fragile creature. Once again, like our planet, powerful yet fragile, at least our ability to survive on it. The arrival is inevitable. Professor Shinichi U at Hiroshima University, I'm sure I butchered his name, he told the Yomiuri newspaper a huge jellyfish typhoon would hit the country. In 2005, fishermen looking for anchovies, salmon, and yellowtails began finding huge numbers of the jellyfish in their nets. When the Nomuras grew larger than a meter in diameter, half a dozen of them can destroy a fishing net. The fish caught alongside them are poisoned and covered in slime and rendered unsellable. So serious was the situation that salmon boats in northern Japan stopped going out. And in some places, fishermen lost 80% of their income. Even staff at some of the nuclear plants along the Japan Sea found that the jellyfish got sucked into the pumps, which take in seawater to cool the reactors. I've looked at jellyfish myself. And to me, when they're floating in the ocean, you see the pictures, they seem as if they're like white blood cells in the body or viruses. They're floating cells in the bloodstream of the earth. Possibly these are actions it's taking to defend itself. Too much fishing? Send him some jellyfish. I don't think it's that simple. It's not a thought process. But no one is sure about the reasons why this slimy plague occurred. One theory is that climate change is heating up the seawater and encouraging them to breed. Another blames the effluent from rivers in China, which carries nutrients on which the jellyfish live. Another blames overfishing of other species, leaving a surfeit of plankton for these to feed on. When scuba diver Will Hood zipped up his wetsuit and secured his mask for a dive off the coast of Cornwall, he was perhaps hoping to see crabs scuttling on the seabed. What the 6'3" teenager did not expect to find himself overshadowed by a vast white barrel jellyfish with a violet fringe and a lace-like trailing tendrils. In May, wildlife photographer Steve Trewella found a rubbery mound on a gravel beach in Portland, Dorset, while out for a walk. It became clear that the glistening gelatinous mass, which measured about 20 inches across, was an extremely large barrel jellyfish, one of the largest species to be found in the British waters. Also known as dustpan lid jellyfish due to their size, these creatures can reach up to 35 inches in diameter and weigh up to 6 pounds. Rarely do they stray close to land though. However, Mr. Trewella said he has now counted 5 of these bizarre creatures, which are distinguished by their large size and thick rubbery skin upon Portland's beaches. So what has caused this astonishing rise in numbers of barrel jellyfish to British waters? And have we anything to fear from this eerie underwater invasion? Wildlife experts believe that they have been brought close to shore by a combination of strong winds and rising seawater and temperatures. When the creatures appear in very large numbers, it is known as a jellyfish bloom. This occurs when a strong ocean current forces large numbers of them into swarms, carrying them in the same direction. These blooms can include hundreds or even thousands of jellyfish. Because they don't have a central nervous system, jellyfish have limited control over their movements, meaning they are carried from place to place, and even stranded on beaches by the movement of the currents. Scientists believe blooms, like the ones off the Cornish coast, are becoming much more common. Though there are few records of past jellyfish populations, recent surveys suggest their numbers are increasing dramatically. One theory is to explain this is that overfishing has reduced the number of sea creatures, such as sardines, anchovies, competing for the same foods, especially the plankton. It is also meant that there are fewer fish, such as herring, in the ocean, which feed on jellyfish eggs before they mature. So tenacious are the jellyfish that some experts warn of an apocalyptic future when they will dominate the seas completely. Be walking on the back of jellyfish to cross the ocean. Within 40 or 50 years, British marine biologist Professor Callum Roberts has theorized other species will have died out in the oceans and will be home only to slimy algae and jellyfish. Certainly, there seem to be a lot more of them around Britain's coastline than before. Susan Sheldon, 48, stumbled upon a 3-foot barrel jellyfish when she was walking her dog on a beach in Dorset in May. Earlier that month, more than 50 barrel jellyfish washed up on the beach in Meanporth, Cornwall, and a further 12 were glimpsed in Weymouth Harbour, Dorset. In December, it was claimed that jellyfish sightings in Ireland had reached the highest level in 25 years. While last August, several red and orange lion-maned jellyfish were spotted off the west coast of Scotland. With tentacles more than 100 feet long, they are sea monsters. The largest on record, spotted in 1870s, had 120-foot tentacles and a diameter of 7 feet. Their sting can cause severe blisters and muscle cramps and can be deadly to those with heart problems. This time last year, swimmers were warned to keep their wits about them after several Portuguese man-of-war jellyfish were sighted in Cornwall. They deliver a severe sting by affixing their tentacles to human skin. Even after their sting has been pulled off the flesh, still more venom can be released into the skin if it's rubbed, and it's causing large red welts, nausea, convulsions, and even in rare occasions, death. In 2012, Roland Singe, a 58-year-old grandfather, died after suffering severe anaphylactic shock when he was stung by a Portuguese man-of-war near Cape Town. In the Philippines, up to 40 people die each year from jellyfish stings. Among most venomous are the Pacific-dwelling box jellyfish, who have 24 eyes and grow 10 feet. Several Portuguese man-of-war jellyfish were spotted in the waters of Cornwall last year. Their tentacles can affix to human skin, delivering severe stings. The minuscule Irukandji's jellyfish, on the other hand, rarely grows to a width of more than 25 millimeters, but can still cause instant death by anaphylaxis, a severe constriction of the airways. Given the deadly powers, it is little wonder that jellyfish inspires such fear and fascination, and few creatures boast such a colorful history. They have been drifting around the oceans largely untouched by evolution for more than 5 million years. That tends to be that they've reached the height of their evolution. They have no way, they're doing their jobs. More so than a lot of the other species on the planet. Humans. The name, which came into use in the 18th century, is deceptive. Jellyfish aren't really fish. They're not really jelly either. Not like on your toast. They have no vertebrae and no specialized digestive, respiratory, or central nervous system. Instead, they absorb oxygen through an extremely thin skin. Nutrients are taken in through a stalk-like tube hanging down from the underside of the body, which has a mouth at the tip. Typically, they feed on plankton, crustaceans, and fish eggs, though some species, such as lion's mane, are cannibals, feasting on other jellyfish. They are really quite remarkable, says Dr. Peter Richardson, director of the Marine Conservatory Society Biodiversity Program. They are such a simple creature, and that's one reason they are so successful. And unlike other creatures, jellyfish do quite well in water where oxygen levels are low, so they thrive even in severe pollution. While other sea creatures have faded into extinction, jellyfish have thrived, and there are more than 3,000 species ranging in size from 1 millimeter to just under 7 feet. So maybe it's not that we're noticing an increased number of jellyfish, but in a way, we're experiencing the fact that we've fished so much that there are less fish, and by default, more jellyfish. And then we've already discussed the other effects on the economy, on the system that has. A horde forced the shutdown of a nuclear power plant in Sweden after they clogged the cooling system, while fishing boats in Japan have been capsized by refrigerator-sized jellyfish caught in nets. If the jellyfish bloom continues, coastal areas may find themselves forced to take extreme measures to repel their gelatinous visitors. With this fear in mind, scientists in Korea have developed so-called jellyfish terminator robots that can patrol the coastline. The machines float along the surface of the water and use onboard cameras to detect jellyfish. They then suck them up in nets and shred them into pieces. Thankfully, Dr. Richards says there's no need for such drastic responses, though, not along the coast of Britain. But despite the barrel jelly's harmless nature, he recommends keeping the distance if you see one. Unless you're very sure of its identification, it could be a more harmful species. For those who do get stung by the jellyfish, treatments vary according to the nature of the sting of which type of jellyfish is responsible. The most important thing to remember is that when you are stung, the jellyfish usually leaves its tentacles on you, so you should wash the wound and add ice, but don't rub it. A lot of the poisons are activated and get worsened by that action. Taking antihistamines, scraping the skin with a not too sharp knife edge, and applying ice water on the injured area are just 3 methods used to soothe injuries. There's no miracle cure for jellyfish sting. Urinating on the wound does not help, although it is widely believed that it does. If you are stung by a box jellyfish overseas or a lion's mane near Britain, you must seek medical attention. While jellyfish blooms might be bad news for swimmers, there are some people who are celebrating. Well, all I'd say is, in conclusion on this one, I'd like to state that, as I mentioned earlier, to me the jellyfish seems almost like a white blood cell of the ocean. Cleans up, floats around where it's needed, doesn't really have a mind of its own, just does its job, and the ocean shoves it around, or we do. But in the end, if the ocean goes down too low, jellyfish will become more numerable, and then after a while, the fish will come back, and then you'll have a lot of jellyfish to eat. You know, it's that circle. It goes round and round. The only question is, on the next circle, will the humans be part of the ride or not? Thank you.